Hey, do you love a good story? Great. Then you got to check out the #Storytime podcast. Each episode brings you the craziest, creepiest, and cringiest stories from YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, and beyond.
My story is about the time that I was broken up with at the 9/11 memorial. Twice.
Look, the internet is a dumpster full of stories, and I, your host, Will McFadden, dive in headfirst, sift through the flaming trash, and bring you nothing but treasures. Listen to all 21 episodes of #Storytime now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. It is 32 minutes after the hour, and you are listening to Daybreak USA. And from Dallas, Texas, I am Chris O'Sullivan here on Daybreak USA. And here are this morning's headlines that we are following for you closely. Well, as we all know, yesterday, Hurricane Ida blasted ashore Sunday as one of the most powerful storms to ever hit the U.S., rushing from the Louisiana coast to New Orleans and one of the nation's most important industrial corridors. The Cat 4 storm, with winds of 150 miles per hour, hit on the same date Hurricane Katrina ravaged Louisiana and Mississippi 16 years prior. Coming ashore at about 45 miles west of where Cat 3 Hurricane Katrina first struck land. The rising ocean swamped the barrier island of the Grand Isles as landfall came just to the west of Port Fortune. Ida made a second landfall about 2 hours later near Galliano. The hurricane was churning through far southern Louisiana wetlands, with more than 2 million people living in and around New Orleans and Baton Rouge up next. This is not the kind of storm that we normally get. This is going to be much stronger than we usually see. And quite frankly, if you have to draw up the worst possible path for a hurricane in Louisiana, it would be something very close to what we're seeing here, Governor John Bel Edwards told the Associated Press. And it should also be noted that the officials locally are stating that they believe the levees will hold, unlike in 2005 when it came to Hurricane Katrina. So we'll continue to monitor the efforts and the storm damage in Louisiana and throughout the area of New Orleans. And we'll have more updates for you on this as the morning progresses. The other top story we are following for you is that President Biden on Saturday said that he spoke with his national security team about 2 ISIS-K targets who were killed during Friday night's airstrike. Here's what they were saying. We discussed the strike that U.S. forces took last night against the terrorist group ISIS-K in Afghanistan, Biden said. I said we would go after the group responsible for the attack on our troops, innocent civilians in Kabul, and we have. Those are the latest words coming from the President of the United States, who also believes another attack is imminent. There was activity yesterday in Kabul. We are still waiting to get official word as to what had happened. Of course, we'll have more headlines for you at 56 minutes past the hour, including the passing of a Hollywood legend, and we'll have a further update for you on the events occurring right now in Afghanistan as the U.S. sets to depart towards the August 31st deadline. Okay, I am Chris O'Sullivan. We are coming up on 35 minutes past the hour. You are listening to Daybreak USA. We'll have you back here with Rod in just a couple minutes, so thank you for listening.
This is Dr. Joel Wallach, a veterinarian physician and founder of Youngevity, and I want to talk about kidney failure and high blood pressure. Kidney failure and high blood pressure are due to artery disease in the kidneys, not caused by cholesterol, but by eating fried foods and processed meats and oils and glutens. You got to give up all those bad foods and take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Take our program, which we call the Ultimate Daily Classic Tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. That'll support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And people who have not urinated in 10 years are on dialysis 6 days a week. After 2 weeks, they start urinating again. They drop their dialysis down to 3 days a week. And then after 25 years of being on dialysis because they did not want to have a kidney transplant, they're totally off of dialysis. Their doctors are scratching their head. How can that be? Well, that's because 98% of the time when people have kidney issues, guess what? It's really an artery issue. You'll be amazed. This also helps the arteries in the brain when you have vascular dementia, coronary artery disease, and also in your legs and other places, including the kidneys. It's an amazing thing when you take this program and stay away from the bad foods. And just remember, you also want to stay away from statin drugs because cholesterol is your best friend. Cholesterol makes up 95% of the weight of testosterone and estrogen. No ED if you're eating 3 eggs twice a day. And there's a dementia that's caused by doctors. It's called Alzheimer's disease. It did not exist until they started giving people statin drugs and telling you to stop eating eggs. You need to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs won't do. Contact us at usaradiohealth.com. That's usaradiohealth.com.
Friends, Mike Lindell's My Pillow, My Slippers make my feet feel better than they have in about 20 years. My Pillow proprietary foam, memory foam, patented impact gel, indoor-outdoor soles. You won't want to take them off, or Mike Lindell will give you your money back. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener special, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175 and save 40% using my promo code USA.
Well, yeah. It's I'm missing the coffin time 37 after the hour. Yeah, baby. Listen to you and the jerk face talking about the beaches. I used to go to Jones Beach and Coney Island, rocking the house over there at NBC.
Oh yes, that was the last nude beach in the boroughs.
I looked like bad catchers meant nude.
Oh, disgrace.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee Brewers logo.
Okay, that's funny. I can't even do Hyman's now. That was too good.
Don Imus with us this morning. We thank his dead body for showing up.
The Milwaukee Brewers logo.
What is that? Is that the Brewers logo? No. Okay.
No, that's just my tuchus.
There you go.
Morning,
Storm
Michigan.
Ida.
Yeah.
If you are in Jackson, Mississippi, you've got about 20 hours remaining with this big storm. Should be finally past you by 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Currently, the winds have finally dipped below 60 miles an hour. The sustained winds, according to the National Weather Service, are now 59 miles per hour, gusts of 82 miles an hour, and 2/3 of the area near Jackson, Mississippi have had 4 to 8 inches of rain. The other third has had about 1/4 of an inch of rain. That's pretty traumatic right there. This path of this storm as a tropical storm will actually be leaving the 48 continental United States. That's how big this storm was and how long it's going to take it to dissipate. And ironically, of course, it makes landfall on the same day as the 16th anniversary of Katrina hitting the area. Yeah, 365 to 1, I guess. But even more than that, because hurricane season's only 3 months long. So
yeah, but that's just really bizarre, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
so this. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say yesterday, because for some reason I can't sleep on Sunday mornings, so I was up about 5, 6 o'clock yesterday morning, and I was watching on YouTube because they have all these live stream feeds or videos now where you can watch certain locations in real time. And literally, I was looking at the French Quarter as sunrise is occurring, or at least they're getting light, and
completely empty,
except for a few weirdos who they knew the camera was there. They're posing. It's like, why are you posing for a camera when you should be running for your life?
Yeah,
and you were already starting to see the wind by then, that light gust. But it was, within the hour, it was really picking up. And I'm like, my God, these poor people. Just for the love of God, tell me they got some kind of shelter and whatnot. And watching these storms, watching the storm just come ashore, and then, it makes landfall, and and then you see a thing where all the power goes out in the whole city. But the engineers are saying they are they are quite confident, I should say, that the levees will hold. So
they
that's
said
a good
that
thing.
96 of the 99 levees in the state did work. 3 did not work. The thing that really did not work well at all was the emergency number, 911, 411, 611, all went down, the whole system. And so obviously that's something they need to fix. The town known as Red Stick, or Baton Rouge, if you would, was the landfall area. So I guess the town of New Orleans was saved from the brunt of it. But this storm is now going to be a tropical depression. And it's going to continue on its journey for about another 150 miles north and then it will jog north-northeast and will stay a tropical storm all the way. It will visit lovely places like Jackson, that's about 90 miles south of there now. It will make it into Nashville and as far east as Raleigh. It'll continue on just south of Indianapolis, in Blacksburg, West Virginia, Washington, D.C., all of the state of Pennsylvania, from Pittsburgh all the way to Philadelphia, and all the way down into the nation's capital, continue on to Boston, and then finally leave the continental United States somewhere near Montpelier, Vermont, and going into parts of Maine. So this is a storm of major magnitude. It was a Category 4 when it made landfall, and that hasn't happened in a long time. New Orleans, their update. The impact locally will end at about 1 a.m. there, Eastern time, of course, and 75 mile an hour winds right now in New Orleans, gusts still peaking at 92 miles an hour. So in the New Orleans area, this is still a Category 1 hurricane. They have had 8 to 14 inches of rain in the area, and a number that I've never seen. In 1 hour, they had 5 inches of rain. I didn't know it could come out of the sky that quickly. Over a quarter of the area of New Orleans has had 12 to 18 inches of rain. Now, over the course of the next 7 hours, the wind speeds will drop from about 90 miles an hour all the way down to about 50 miles an hour. And then they will intensify a little bit through the midday hours and finally drop to about 40 mile an hour winds. So they'll have had about a 40-hour period with sustained winds at over 50 miles an hour. And once again, I have to give a shout out to the guy who I think is the best weatherman in all of the United States, and that's the Weather Channel's Joe Cantori. Jim, I'm sorry. He does a heck of a job for them. He is the only original employee left from the original Weather Channel. And he was getting buffeted yesterday. There was a dumpster, a trash dumpster, that blew over. And he was still standing there, flapping in the breeze. Unbelievable. Yeoman's work. Great reporter. Unknown by many, unfortunately. This is Daybreak USA. Welcome back. 12 minutes before the hour on a Monday. I'm taking a look at Julian. Julian will not be a threat to the United States. Julian is moving at a northeasterly flow in the North Atlantic. At this time, about 450 miles east of Bermuda. And will continue into the North Atlantic, basically unharmed. But Julian is the 10th named storm of the year. The 11th is not named yet. It is storm number 11. But the 12th is named. Her name is Nora. And she is a tropical rainstorm that will be heading north from Mexico. She's currently in Mexico, near Guadalajara. She will be heading towards Baja California and Cabo San Lucas. And in the mainland, she'll be heading through Hermosillo, Chihuahua, and then finally getting northerly and coming in south, and maybe as a tropical depression coming through Tucson and Phoenix.
And Las Vegas. I'm getting that from AccuWeather right now.
Really,
Yeah.
I'm getting her being pretty well east of Las Vegas by about 200 miles.
But
that's
in the area where they
subject to
need it,
change.
the area where they
Yeah.
need that water, they're going to get a
Oh.
good drop here. They need that depression to hit, parts of that depression to hit that area because, well, Lake Mead is now Mead.
Yeah. By the way, the sad part for the people who do need that rain up there is this storm is, as I said, near Guadalajara. It is at sea right now. It has been at sea for about 10 days, but it will make landfall in that area of Guadalajara, and at that point we'll probably not be back at sea again, so it won't pick up the strength of the storms in the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic. So they'll get a lot of rain, and Phoenix will get a monsoon, and then the Grand Canyon will get a pretty good dousing, but right now the European model says it will track about 200 miles east of Las Vegas into the lower portion of Utah. But that's pretty high up for a storm moving basically due northeast in that region. So and once again, these things are subject to change. They don't ask us. But Nora is already a named storm, and we'll see what happens with her. So that's the weather. Let's get you caught up to date in some other stuff. Of course, the bad TV ratings for Joe Biden continue with the pullout of Afghanistan. We're going to hear some names we haven't heard from in a while on the topic. One of them was a young lady who debated him about 10 years ago as she ran for vice president. Here is Sarah Palin.
Well, we should have seen it coming. I mean, based on Biden's track record, nearly 50 years in government, blunder after blunder, people in his own party, his own quote-unquote supporters, letting Americans know, letting voters know before the vote was taken against Trump that he gets everything wrong. You know, Jesse, I looked the other night for the first time ever at debate clips where I was debating Biden back in 2008. And I'm sitting there listening to this going, man, the more things change, the more they stay the same. He was a liar back then. He is a liar today. His track record should have allowed all of us to anticipate nothing but negative, nothing but bad, nothing but tragedy would happen under this man's watch.
Only one problem, Sarah. He beat you like a rented mule. If you had beaten him all those years ago, he may never have come into power. So you can tell me he's senile, you can tell me he makes nothing but wrong choices all his life, that the 50 years of government service that he's given have all been a waste of time and a confluence of wrong. But when you had your chance to beat him, he beat you up. He beat you up like a high school bully. But it's good to hear your voice again, because I know that immediately when that soundbite hit the airwaves yesterday, Tina Fey said, "Ooh, new work." Yeah. So welcome back to the spotlight, Tina Fey and Sarah Palin.
Well, Sarah Palin says she's kind of an expert on foreign policy because, you know, Russia's in her backyard. Well, that is true. I mean, literally, the border between Russia and the United States is about, I think, 2 miles up at that far point up there. And
no,
yeah,
that's not true.
Anyway,
no, it's not true.
Anyway,
I've been to her house.
What? You've been to her house?
Yeah, when we were in Juneau, we actually went to the State House there.
Yeah, I'm talking like at the Bering Strait.
Oh yeah,
that's where I'm
you
talking about. Yeah, that's that most point at the very, 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 very border. So I don't know how many varies I had to put that in, by the way. But yeah, 2 miles and 23 hours ahead of us. But that does not really make you an expert on foreign policy or what the Kremlin does. Just saying.
And by the way, she lives on the east side of a mountain that is 13 feet tall, 13,000 feet tall. So if she saw Russia from her house, she's got a weird set of eyes right here on Daybreak USA.
Are you struggling with addiction or alcohol problems? If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares. Call 800-854-1055. 800-854-1055.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares. Call 800-854-1055. 800-854-1055. 800-854-1055.
My doctor prescribed me Viagra. It wasn't covered by my insurance, so it was costing me like $65 a pill. That's expensive.
Over 20 million guys like us use Viagra. Over a certain age, we just need it. I found a way to pay less than $3 a pill and get virtually the same effect of the $65 pill. I heard an ad just like this on the radio, called, and for $99, I got 40 generic versions of the $65 pill. Save yourself money and call right now and get over 40 pills for $99. There's no embarrassment here to use Viagra. If we're over 50, we need it, but not at high prices. Call now with your credit card and get the 40 pill special for just $99.
800-993-1358. 800-993-1358. That's 800-993-1358.
It is 56 minutes after the hour. You are listening to Daybreak USA. I am Chris O'Sullivan, and here are some of the other headlines we are following for you this morning. Over the weekend at Andrews Air Force Base, President Biden and the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, met with the families of the service members killed in the terror attack this past week. President Biden, of course, went to Andrews Air Force Base to accept the remains as the bodies of 13 members of the service were returned. The couple then witnessed the transfer of the military members' remains from an aircraft flown to the base in Delaware. The 11 Marines have been identified. In a statement on Saturday, President Biden said the 13 service members that we lost were heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our highest American ideals and while saving the lives of others. Marine Nicole Gee was previously captured caring for the baby of an Afghan evacuee in a touching photo right before being killed in the blast this past Thursday. Also, the other headlines we are following for you, as we have mentioned earlier, Hollywood has lost an icon and a legend. Actor Ed Asner has passed away at the age of 91. Ed Asner, the tough guy with the soft side, who started as the incredible newsroom boss Lou Grant on the legendary sitcom The Mary Tyler Moore Show, and on his own hard-hitting TV drama, died Sunday. He was 91. Sent in a family statement on Twitter, "We are sorry to say that our beloved patriarch passed away this morning peacefully as we feel. With a kiss on your head, good night, Dad. We love you." The other headline we are following comes to heading west from the tiny town of Strawberry was an exercise in blind faith on Friday, as even the nearest of pine trees were obscured by sticky yellow smoke spewing from the nearby Caldor fire. Charred trees and fallen rocks dotted the roadside as small spot fires seemed agitated by even the slightest hint of wind. But despite the eyeball-burning air crews were working fast and hard with one major goal in mind: to prevent the raging fire that has already claimed 143,000 acres from sweeping down into the basin of South Lake Tahoe. One official says, "We are trying to keep it west of Highway 80. Smith, an assistant engine operator with the U.S. Forest Service, said it is just extreme fire behavior that we have had over the last few weeks has made it difficult for us to really get ahead of this thing. And those are just some of the headlines we are following for you this morning. We will have breaking news alerts for you at once as they develop. We thank you so much for joining us here on Daybreak USA. We are coming to the top of the hour. And from Dallas, Texas, I am Chris O'Sullivan, wishing you and yours a very safe and happy, pleasant good morning. Thank you.
Hey, do you love a good story? Great. Then you got to check out the #Storytime podcast. Each episode brings you the craziest, creepiest, and cringiest stories from YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, and beyond.
My story is about the time that I was broken up with at the 9/11 memorial twice.
Look, the internet is a dumpster full of stories, and I, your host, Will McFadden, dive in headfirst, sift through the flaming trash, and bring you nothing but treasures. Listen to all 21 episodes of #Storytime now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's a new day, and it's coming at you fast. With Comcast Business, you'll have what you need to take on every twist and turn, like the flexibility to control multiple Wi-Fi networks from anywhere, a cybersecurity solution to help protect all your connected devices, and the power of the nation's largest gig speed network, all supported by a dedicated team available 24/7. Every day in business is a big day. Comcast Business will keep you ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.